for our 8 contestants, 8 business contestants. Although we have couples that are involved, so there's more than 8. We'll be hearing about their business pitches. It's been exciting. I was able to go through the videos over the last couple of days and see the business types, what they're interested in, what their ideas are. And the judges kind of give you a little idea. I'm jumping out of order here, sorry about it. But there's 3 components to this. Each of the contestants had to send in a video, a short video, about their project or what their business plan is. There is a 12-page business plan they had to submit. That was part of the requirements. And then the third piece that we're doing tonight is the presentation, which includes it's 5 minutes, and then there's question and answers with the judges. So yeah, that's right. 7 minutes. 7 minutes and 5 minutes. To get it right. 7 minutes and 5. I'm getting old here. So 7 minutes for the presentation, and then there's 5 minutes thereabouts. So, and then we're going to have a few things to get us started off tonight. But first of all, I want to talk about our sponsors. We've had 2 businesses here in the community that have supported us with $16,000 each year that have split into winnings of the 5 contestants. And that is, first one is JRI Hospitality. Jason Ingerman said you may know that name. Think about Freddy's. I think the last count is there's somewhere over 220 Freddy's in the franchise. Mocha's, Salina Country Club, a lot of other businesses. He's in farming. So he is an entrepreneur multi-times over and very supportive of what we're doing here. So that's one of our sponsors. And then our second sponsor is Bennington State Bank. And if I get out of the way, you all can see all these. Bennington State Bank, they provide the other $8,000. They've been with us since day one as well. We've got one of the bankers here that you'll get to introduce here a little bit later. It's one of our judges tonight. And we appreciate what they do. Without the funds, John Gunn, who's here with us, who's been a judge, he was able to rope, I don't know what you had on all those guys to get them to come to the table for support, John, but we appreciate what you've done. John was really kind of the founder, the guy behind this idea, and he's been very supportive of entrepreneurship himself, and we're glad that he and his wife are here with us tonight watching the contestants. So next up is a partnership that sponsors this. This is not just, it comes out of the blue. This is a long-term project of the Chamber of Commerce. Renee Dexler, who's there in the back row, wave your hand, Renee. President of the Chamber is here with us. Her staff, Cassandra, will be up here next year doing this job. She just joined the team, so we're giving her a year off to get her feet wet. Next up is the organization I work for, Robin McMahon, who's with me. I'm with the Salina Community Economic Development Organization. Startup Salina, which is a community group that we use to help promote entrepreneurship. Network Kansas, which is a funding source that helps businesses find funding for their support. We've got one of their reps here with us today. Part of their program is VentureDash, which is the judging mechanism that we use. It's used all over the state. I think, are you on several states now with that? So I believe you are. It's not to hit yes. You are. Or if you're not, you should be. So this is something that really helps grading. It's used for the YEC. That's a youth entrepreneur competition as well. Next up is K-State Salina. We've got our great team. They work with the chamber in terms of helping educate people that do training quarterly. So we've got Kathy, Fred, get my name's all right, Fred and Sue, they're always together. They are. They're married. Vince is in the back. And we also got a volunteer team here today, IT. We've got a professor helping us with video that we're doing. We've got some other volunteers helping us with odds and ends. And they provided the tea and water that Vince is at the back drinking right now, so, as well as the food. So it's a great effort. Kansas Wesleyan University supports this effort, and the Temple is another one of our sponsors. So next up is, you may wonder, who is Charlie Walker? What is the pitch challenge related to him? Well, I've got somebody who knows Charlie, his grandson, Guy Walker, who is president of Blue Beacon. And I'll let him talk about that, but Blue Beacon is a major player in our community. Go downtown, you see the hotel. They were the force that really helped push the city and brought a lot of players together for the redevelopment of downtown. They own a hotel down there. Also talking about another hotel downtown, so we're excited about that. So Guy is going to come up and talk about Charlie. I've heard the stories. I know people that he has helped in the community, but you're going to hear it from Guy. So come on up, Guy.
Some of those stories are colorful, so we'll get those out. Well, yeah, as you said, I'm Guy Walker, and the first thing I want to say is I just want to say good luck to all of the contestants or participants or the folks pitching. I'm not sure I have the same entrepreneurial gene that my grandfather did. I think about things and I get excited about them, and then the risk-averse side of me talks me out of it. So I really admire you. I wish you the best of luck. I didn't want to leave that out. And the other thing I'd say is I feel very fortunate to be up here sharing stories about my grandfather, but also just that it was chosen to name this this competition after my grandfather, because one of the best things about Salina is there's a lot of homegrown businesses. There's so many businesses in our community. They're the driving force of our community. And so I just want to recognize how many there are in the community, and we're just one player. So I feel really honored to be here. I'm also kind of humbled because as Mitch said, I'm Charlie's grandson. So I'm third generation, which some of you may know is typically the generation that screws it up. So I'm really trying really hard not to do that. But I'm on the older side of my generation, so I can remember the really early years where there was a lot of difficult years. I can remember where my grandfather, my dad, my uncle, and the whole team were just working tirelessly to build the company. They were traveling a ton, they were working nights, they were working on weekends. And so I get to kind of ride the coattails of that success in many ways. So I just feel really humbled to be here. Feel humbled to be a part of the organization. So just wanted to share that, and also, like I said, try not to screw it up. So I'll share just a couple minutes. So as my grandfather definitely had an entrepreneurial spirit about him, and I think it was with him to me his entire life. So I'll start out. When I was trying to think of his background, none of us can remember him ever having a traditional job. So I don't think he ever had a supervisor. I'm not really sure he had the personality to have a supervisor, so that probably is part of the reason. But so when he got out of the military, he started selling baby furniture out of the back of his car. But the catch is he had to buy that furniture from the wholesaler, and he had to take the risk that he could sell it. So that was the first thing. Then he bought a candy truck, and he was selling candy and tobacco to the smaller communities around Salina, because he wasn't allowed to sell it in Salina, because Salina had its own kind of territory. So he had to go to the smaller communities. Well, you can imagine a big candy truck didn't get very good gas mileage. So he shared later, he about went broke doing that. But then he started Powerback, which was mobile power vacuum units built on truck chassis. But he couldn't sell them. There wasn't much of a market for them in the U.S., so he drove them. He could only afford to build one at a time. He and a buddy would drive it to Canada, put an ad in the paper, try to sell it, and then hopefully sell it and have enough money to come home. So that was kind of, and they would just do that over and over, one at a time. But that eventually led to a mobile power washing, which was mobile power washing units also on a truck chassis. And they realized that they were washing a lot of trucks. They were getting calls to wash trucks out of the truck stops on I-70. So he kind of got the idea, hey, maybe I should build a facility and see if they'll come to me. So that was kind of the seeds of Blue Beacon. Let's see, I should probably look at what I would say the truck wash business it actually took off pretty quick. I mean, Salina was sort of slow, and then built a second one in Oakley. Those were okay, but they built number 3 and 4, which were in Oklahoma City and Amarillo. And those are obviously much bigger markets. And the business really started to take off from there, but it was still a really young business. So they were out having to raise money from friends, family, and local investors and banks to keep the company, to kind of build the company. So it took until about the time they reached 40 to 50 locations, where it was on kind of solid enough footing to where it was self-sufficient, it could grow with its own capital. And I kind of look back at that time, and I think that's probably when he could have maybe started to relax a little bit. But no, during that period, he tried self-service car washes. Some of you may remember the carousel, so he dabbled in the restaurant business. Green Lantern convenience stores, which eventually led to full-service car washes, a few of which we still have today, not in Salina, but in some other markets. Let's see what else. I'm missing something. Obviously, eventually a zoo. That's my next thing. So you can kind of see that, like, I look back and I think, like, why didn't he stop? I think eventually he could have kind of said, no, I'm done. And I really think, while it certainly was an entrepreneurial part, I also think what he enjoyed most about the businesses that he started was the people that he would kind of partner with along the way. He would go find somebody who was good at something, and they would kind of do it together. And I really think that was his favorite part about the whole thing. I think that's really why he kept going. He met a German engineer who was into water recycling, so he kind of got partnered up with him for a while. He met a gentleman who was serving the oil and gas industry with centrifuges, and he was like, I think this would be fun. So they did that together. So when I think back, I think that's really why he just kept going. While he certainly enjoyed building things, I think what he enjoyed the most was building things with people. So the way I would, I guess, just close is just, at Blue Beacon, we kind of continue to try and honor that legacy by valuing people that have chosen to work, chosen to make a career. And that's probably the thing. If I can think of the one lesson that to me is the most important, and again, kind of to me preserves his legacy, is always ensuring that every decision is about the people who work for, that have chosen to work. So I think he would appreciate that part about it. Anyway, I think that's, I guess the other thing, one more piece, as Mitch mentioned, we're pretty heavily involved in downtown, and that would be another key. I think we'd be proud of us just kind of continuing to invest in our community. That's certainly an important part about doing business in any community, but definitely one of Salina. So thank you to the organizers and sponsors of the events tonight. Thank you so much for naming it in honor of my grandfather. Truly humbling that you chose to do that. And like I said, best of luck to the contestants or the participants. I really wish you all the best. So, thank you.
Thank you, guys. Okay, we get a lot of questions about our previous winners. So this is our 5th year. So we've had 4 years of winners. I see one out in the crowd there. We've got several judges here that have been introduced that were previous winners. But we do have a video from one of our winners last year, Erica and Jessica Swinson, who's with Familia Toys. Some of you all may recognize that name. They have a brick and mortar location down on Santa Fe. So we got a few comments from them about their win.
Hi there, we're Eric and Jessica Swinson, and we represent Familia Toys downtown. And we competed in the Charlie Walker Picture Competition in spring of 2025. It was a fun and educational experience. Being part of that made us take a closer look at our business plan and kind of plan out more of what we wanted to do with our business and how we'd be able to be successful. It also helped us network with other local entrepreneurs, and that's really sparked some great connections with them in the community. And we were able to place 4th, which allowed us to win $2,000.
We won $2,000. We were able to do several community events, which was our goal with some of those funds. So we were able to host Star Wars Trivia Day on May the 4th, and we were able to do Easter scavenger hunts and the Star Wars tag for that. We also did our first Jigsaw Jam with downtown Salina. And we had 22 teams compete to put this puzzle together. We actually have a frame, and we'll be hanging it up and starting very soon. Our winner had 11 minutes and 5 seconds left of a 2-hour timer. It's really fun just to watch everybody come together and do justice. We also have some more of those things soon, so if you missed out, don't. We also have just other events upcoming. So the creator of Taco Cat Grilled Cheese Pizza will be here soon. We have Joint Women's Princess coming. and several other events. So from the Charlie Walker pitch, like Eric said, we met several other businesses, entrepreneurs, and we've been able to partner with them, having in the store, doing pop-ups, that kind of thing. And we've been able to do pop-ups out in the community too. So that's been great just to have those partnerships and connections to help each other grow and make Salina stronger.
Okay, so we're getting contentment. Next year, you all can be successful winners from years past. So next, I want to introduce our judges. This is a critical piece of the competition. We have to have somebody give a thumbs up, thumbs no. We talked about, if you watch those multi-millionaires, we've got some millionaires here, I'm sure, out of this group. But they are not going to be asking really cutting questions. I mean, they're going to ask really good questions, but it's not like Shark Tank. So this is much nicer. So don't be worried about any of those questions you might see from that guy who used to own the basketball team, which I won't mention his name. But so first up, our judge, Chris Yuli. Chris, you want to turn around and wave your arms? He's the market president of Bennington State Bank, one of our sponsors. We appreciate him being with us tonight. Adrian Smith. Adriana is the people and culture manager of Blue Beacons. The boss just left. She was the winner. Her business is Be Beautiful Creations. She was the fourth place winner in 2024, making really special shirts and other printed items, and that you use the money to buy a new machine to help speed up your process. Next, we got Katie Vincent. Katie is owner of To the Table. It's a food. They cater. They have meals that you can buy on an ongoing basis for your family. She was the second place Charlie Walker winner in 2025, and she's also a user of the kitchen at the temple, which I'm on that board, so I've got to plug that group. We have a commercial kitchen that was just replaced this summer. Great investment. You're probably our best customer, so we're glad to have you. Mylan Wooler. Mylan is Vice President of Human Resources at Synergy HR Solutions. We go back, my wife and she used to work together in a previous position here in the community. So, and last we got Jerry Lomigan. Jerry, we got him down here retired, but he's probably one of the most active retired guys I know. He was up in Junction City for many years, working in economic development, tourism, and doing work up there. And he and his wife chose to come to Salina for retirement. So we're glad to have Jerry here and serving as one of our judges. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about, again, mention, this is where I jumped ahead a little earlier. Everybody has 7 minutes to pitch their business, and then there'll be 5 minutes for Q&A with the judges. Jason Van Natter is sitting here on the end. He is our timekeeper. So just remind all the contestants to be watching the clock. We don't want to get the big book out, pull you off. We haven't had to do that in the 4 years, so we don't want to change that. Next up is our prizes. First, let me talk about an audience. We want you to be quiet and attentive during the pitches, but feel free to clap, cheer, yell for your friend, your partner, whoever it might be that's making a pitch. Just do it before and then do it after. So everybody wants to get pumped up, and having folks here to help do that, it's great, but we will be respectful for all the candidates as well. So next up is our awards for the night, our cash prizes. First place is $6,000. So that could buy you some new equipment, a new machine, help you with your business expenses to get started. Second place is $4,000. Third comes in at $3,000. Fourth prize is $2,000. And fifth place is $1,000. So we have 8 contestants. We got pretty good odds to be in the money. After we get done, we're asking all the contestants to come up. We're going to move these chairs right up here, up along the front. And while the scoring and the checks are being printed up, we want to do a little Q&A. People can ask about your business plan, what your thoughts are. Since only the judges can do that during the contest period, we want to do that, have a little opportunity for the judges or the contestants to talk about, what did they like, what was tough, how did they develop their business plan, that sort of thing. So we're going to get started here in a few minutes. So let's get going. Bobby Beast is up first. So and then Cassandra Dolores Cafe will be in the what we call the hall. We're using our on deck, the baseball terms. So she needs to go out in the hall, and Bobby needs to go ahead and come on up, and all the other contestants. Oh, Vince will lead you down the hall to the green room.
What's that? Well, I just brought a couple things just to set up this display. Where? I do. 1 second. Just a minute. Okay, good to go. Here. Oh. That'll be.
Okay, Bobby Bees. Bobby Roshima is our first contestant out of the box. So Bobby, get over.
Good evening. Thank you first for letting me be here this evening. My name is Bobby Hieronymus. I'm with Bobby's Bees. Bobby's Bees was founded here in Salina, Kansas in 2025. And, hopefully it's a business that we can continue to grow here in the community. Now, before I tell you too much about the business, I think it's important to understand the pollinators behind the business and why they are important. Through just a couple facts up here, 1 in 3 bites of food that we take are because of our pollen. So we can appreciate that if pollinators didn't exist, groceries would be even more expensive. They may even cease to exist. My favorite statistic was that one right there, one bee colony can pollinate 300 million flowers each day. So if you have a garden, if you have a fruit tree, or maybe a flower bed, bees are important to that, are an important part of that. It's because of them that these things can exist and they can be successful. So with that in mind, you look at this number. Last year, 55.6% of hives were lost, managed hives. And so it's important to understand that there's a little bit of risk. That number's actually gone up this year. So there's a push to really keep these hives going. So what's the solution? Well, it's to create healthy, strong hives and create more so that they can continue to thrive. And that's where beekeepers come in. So I wanted to put this up here first because if I mess up the rest of the little part here, you'll know that you're doing it for the bees too, not just for me. But we'll see how I can do with the business side of it too. So this just kind of highlights, where I started. So to get started in 2025, the first thing I wanted to do was make sure that I was educated well enough on what it would take to not only maintain healthy hives, but also to become a honey producer and to sell that honey and to move it. So that's what I did. I took the time to educate myself both locally through some courses here, but also through online additional courses to make sure that I could always maintain the health level for these bees that I needed to do. We then started with just 3 hives, and the first year those 3 hives produced 48 pounds of honey, and then we were able to sell 48 pounds of honey. And I tell you that because I want you to realize it wasn't that I ran out of customers, it's that I ran out of product. And so there is a need and there is an opportunity to sell honey here locally, and a lot of people are beginning to realize just the importance of even buying local and the benefits of the local honey. And this year, it's already grown significantly. We're up to 7 hives, so we've more than doubled our production, and there's a lot of colonies that I could take in if I had additional hive boxes for them. One thing I do want to note while I'm here with 48 pounds of honey. So your first year is really the bee's opportunity to grow themselves. And so usually you're not able to harvest very much honey the first year off of a colony. So we were fortunate to even get 48 pounds last year. this year, now that they're established, they're all doing well, they're healthy, they should low end produce about 60 pounds of honey per hive. So even if I didn't add additional hives, there is growth. You know, I mean, right now it's already 180 pounds that I should be able to harvest off that. I've got a friend that's half a mile away. He harvested off one of his hives 120 pounds last year. So, you know, each hive is capable of producing significantly more than what we produced last year. Now, as I grow this, the way I would like to market it is a lot of social media, you know, just one-on-one with the customers, but also take advantage of things like the farmer's market. I had the opportunity to go to the prairie land and talk to them about what it would take to put products there and really focus on keeping it local, because honey products are more beneficial if you're buying from local level versus something you find in the store. Another thing I would like to do, and I noticed even when I went to some of the farmers markets, prairie land, things like that there wasn't a lot of green honey. That's a little different than just raw honey, and I did bring samples for the judges anyway, but it's something that we can add flavoring to, it's something that's spreadable, but it's also something that has a price point that's almost double what raw honey would be. And so, you know, from a business standpoint, there's a benefit to offering additional things, but it also does require additional equipment as well. So I want to kind of give you an idea of what my 3-year plan looks like anyway. Like I said, I already have 7 hives now. I'd like to, within 3 years, grow to 25. At that point, it's big enough, I'm able to split them often enough that growth should be significantly quicker than what it is at the beginning. And keep in mind, again, it takes a year for each of these to establish. So my 3 hives to 7 hives, I'm probably not going to get a lot off of my extra 4 hives this year. So the faster I can grow that, the faster I'm able to grow the business. So that means I need to add 18 more hives at $250 a hive. We're looking at roughly $4,500 investment. There are other things that I would need with each of those: stand, possible feeders, things of that nature. But then each hive can produce at least 50 pounds of honey. At 25 hives, we're looking at, and $50 a pound, we're looking at $22,500 in revenue off of that. But then I also realize that it's not just being able to produce the honey, but it's being able to process it safely and bottle it and then get it out to the customer. So in addition to that, there's things that we need, such as equipment. Right now, for instance, I have a homemade uncapper who works fantastic for what I do, but as the business grows, there's going to be a need to be able to do that more efficiently. Also, with green honey, because it's no longer just a raw product, that's something that has to be done in a commercial kitchen. And so not only do we need the equipment to do that, but we need a clean environment, a commercial kitchen to do that. So what we've been looking at is we've looked at a few concession trailers, more or less. So you have to give us the opportunity to mount the equipment in there, process it, and then meet the requirements that Kansas has. The other thing we'd like to do with that is offer it to other local. We want to keep with pollinators in the area. And because the laws are changing, it's making it more difficult for just mom and pops to be able to produce honey and sell it. So we'd like to make that available too. So I'd like to tell you what makes me stand out, but I didn't have to.
Judges, do you have some questions?
Yeah, so there's some other competition here. So how do you differentiate your honey from theirs?
Well, that's the point I wanted to get to next, so I'm glad you asked. So, a couple things. One, when you think of some of the bigger honey producers in our area, one of the things that they do is they take their hives and they move them out of state for winter months. They do that because it's easier to maintain the hives out of state, but it also keeps them creating honey year round. So, you know, you may be thinking you're buying a local product here and you're not. You're buying honey that's from Texas, but it's bottled. We'd like to keep it here. I mean, for me, there's no reason to, I don't want to go bust and trying, you know, live bees across the state line. But, so that's one thing is we like to grow and just keep everything right here, local. The other thing I think that helps us stand out is my wife and I already own a small business here in town. Both graduated Leadership-Salina, we have a lot of contacts, and just getting to know the other businesses and people knowing that we already offer quality products and know who we are, I think will help us to stand out from some of the other competition.
You had mentioned that fees. That's one of the things. It's flashing. You had mentioned that you do include fees, but I thought was really great. So my question is, there's a lot of things that are factors into that. So weather, nectar flow, high costs get varying from year to year. What strategies will you use to stabilize revenue during your low production seasons?
Well, for one thing I've noticed about just the bee industry in general, I really find something that's my age. Most beekeepers are even older than I am. And so there's a lot of people that are stuck in their ways and not willing to try some of the new treatments for mice. That's what's killing most hives, things of that nature. So I think just being ahead of, or keeping up with what's available, I think helps me kind of regulate the problems even before they start. Obviously, I can't control nectar flow and things like that, and that's where I would like to, if I could get into other options like green honey and things like that, and I can help make up some of the loss even before the loss. We've done excellent last year. This year, we're already producing. I've got, this was out of one of my hives here, it's already producing honey. I mean, it's amazing how doing that this. So, taking advantage of those and then making the product go as far as I can.
Thank you. Talk a little bit about, I know you got a year lag time when ships 25, or it seems to be a fairly significant increase in the production. How are you going to adapt your own life as well as the firm's life? Would that be an increase over a 2-year period?
Well, one thing, we've grown, my wife and I have another business, and we've grown it to the point now where I've got a lot more hands-off time than I used to have. And so, for me, I've always wanted to have multiple streams of income. We've always focused on that business. And so I have the time to put into this business. So just using that, free time to now start my next venture is what my plan is. Right now, they don't take a whole lot. I spend maybe an hour a week maintaining them. Obviously, as I grow, that's going to increase. But I feel like I have the time to. All right. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity to talk to you.
Okay, our next contestant is the same as Casa Dolores Cafe. Jude Carrillo Hernandez is our contestant, so good luck.
Hello everyone, I am Federica Carrillo Hernandez, and I am the owner of Casa Dolores Cafe. Casa Dolores Cafe is inspired by groundwork, where coffee is not only a drink, it is a reason to slow down, connect with others, and celebrate moments that brings us together. Since moving to Salina back in 2006, many doors are open. And as well as always, I completed my master's in this administration. Through all my studies and experiences, I realized something. I missed the connection to the public and the kind of what we do in Mexico. That's why I've learned it's a model. I want to bring that connection here to this one. I'm passionate about creating a space in the fields where people can pause, share, and feel out. Casa Dolores space isn't just for a car. It's about creating moments that bring people together one at a time. Our model is a flexible and offering both attractive and profitable service depending on location, which allows us to reach more customers as maintenance with that. At Casa Dolores, our dreams are unexpected experiences inspired by Mexican dishes. We'll start with simple preparation, including paella, horchata, and Mexican mocha. Each recipe is carefully created to bring authentic flavors and taste of home to everyone. As we go, seasonal specials and healthier options that should be available for everyone to try. Southern currently doesn't offer a mobile coffee option that brings culture, family, and community. And that is exactly what Casa Dolores. On this map, I have marked potential spots for operations. A mobile model also allows test locations and attend farmers markets, festivals, community events, and even offer private meetings. This also reach more customers and provide a convenient and personalized experience. While our biggest competitors are Starbucks, Livingston, and Locos, Casa Dolores stands out for a personal touch and authenticity. We will build a strong community connections through social media by posting TV specials, behind-the-scenes content, and by partnering with local businesses and attending local events. Having a strong presence will help us the community see, experience, and remember Casa Dolores. Our startup costs are estimated to be around $4,000. This is covering your credit remodeling, purchase of equipment, permanent shipping. Initially, weekend operations will be run by family, allowing us to keep costs low. This reduces our monthly expenses to approximately $1,300. As demand grows, we plan to hire parking staff to support additional weekday operations. Once fully operating, monthly expenses are projected at around $2,500, including inventory, insurance, event fees, and staff. With our planned weekend operation and gradual weekday expansion and an average sale of $6, we anticipate reaching a break-even point at 6 to 8 months. In year one, we expect a net profit of about $13,000. And as we expect to grow and expand our customer base, by year two, we project the profit to reach around $39,000 and by year three, $60,000. These projections are based on my research with comparable businesses like Illinois, and Finca Matcha in Merrill, Texas. Our growth plan is flexible and strategic. The trade remodeling, inspections, permits, and licenses will completed within this system. At each point, we will be ready to start operations. We will begin with weekend services and expand to weekday things based on the need. My vision with Casa Dolores is that by year three, we can assess our growth and explore opening a permanent cafe where we can trade our inclusive, which is their sweet bread, and offer a wider menu. The mobile trailer provides a versatile foundation to test locations, build our brand while minimizing risk. Receiving funding will accelerate our launch and make the vision a reality. Investing in Casa Dolores means investing in culture, family, and community. With the trailer already being purchased, we have reduced the startup risk. And this way, we can maintain a flexible and financially stable business model. Our unique concept provides a clear competitive advantage, creating a business that is both profitable and impactful. Casa Dolores is more than just coffee. It is about family, culture, and connection. Thank you for considering supporting my business that will serve my holiday. I'm happy to answer any questions.
I have my first question. You had mentioned about expanding throughout the weekends. Right now, you have your weekday operation. How will you decide which locations and times generate the strongest, most consistent customer traffic?
Well, I have been setting different locations already. I have been looking at, we have a couple of, food trailers that are located around Wesleyan. And I've been looking at their traffic, I have been looking at this plan for a few months already. So I've been looking at the traffic people and stores are located, also like a local business around Wesleyan. So by deciding this, what location is reaching out to others each location just to make sure that we're allowed to be there. That's the location for you recently. Successfully. Yeah.
I was just, at the $500 a month, the expenses for products seem a little low to me. Can you explain how you arrived at the $500 for monthly product, monthly coffee beans and all the
25.
But I thought $500 a month finances
Oh, that is.
for just the product itself.
Just for the products. We are not going to be able initially, so I based my business to operate, so I just only count the whole week, like 8 days out of the month, since we will gradually expand. Yeah, that is only counting 8 days. Not.
I may have missed it, but as far as your marketing, how are you doing that?
So I have experience in marketing, and he actually was an intern for one of the luckiest families in Tulsa. I was with active family foundation, where I interned for marketing. So my Instagram event, and I have $200 that are along the way.
How do you determine the pricing for your copies?
Yes, so I did research and I contacted different comparable businesses like Bethel Market that they are based in Rockland, Illinois. So I did my research based on them. I contacted them. We plan to keep our prices open lower than that since we have a lower overhead and brand, so we want to keep the prices lower than the competition. Yeah, that's it.
I love that you talked about the different recipes and everything. How do you plan to educate customers and build excitement around these offerings so they become signature items people seek out?
Well, social media is a big. So I plan to take our approach will build when starting construction on I start a trailer and the modeling. I plan to take all of that into consideration just to post everything, and then our flavors that also plans to just explain that everything is not there. I tend to have every ingredient is listed just to make sure that it understands. We also want to do different events where we can just share samples to try. So I know this may be different. Flavors that what the city is used to or the community is used to. Try the flavors for purchasing trying flavors. Thank you.
If you're awarded some money tonight, what do you think is gonna be your number one expense that you're gonna use it on?
Initially, or trading or co and we found an estimated cost of
Thank you very much. So we'll give our hand. Everybody go ahead and go home. It's all we do.
Thank you. That one. Is the mic on?
Okay, our next contestant is Forever Florals by Bonnie Alvarado. Contestant.
See, Forever Clothes by Bonnie is a Salina-based luxury floral rental business specializing in premium silk and real touchable floral designs for weddings and events. As the founder and lead designer, I oversee the business operations, including sourcing, marketing, and client experience, serving Salina and surrounding communities. Weddings are one of the most important days for a couple's life, but they're also expensive. Fresh flowers alone can cost thousands of dollars. And floral pillars like the ones pictured above, they have an estimated cost of about $3,500. Wouldn't that look out of reach for many couples? Also, in the surrounding communities, most vendors focus on balloon decor and minimal styling, leaving no option for luxury floral installation. As a result, many couples and many brides are forced to settle for less, attend DIY projects under pressure, or travel out of town, adding even more cost and complexity. So the reality is this: there's a clear gap in the local market for elevated, accessible wedding designs. That's exactly where Forever Clothes by Bonnie comes in. I offer luxury, real touch, full floral rentals that deliver the same high-end aesthetic as fresh florals, but without the waste and at a more accessible price. My designs are usable, customizable, and completely stress-free for my clients. I handle delivery, setup, and takedown, allowing couples to enjoy their day without worrying about logistics. Within a 100-mile radius of Salina, there are approximately 1,500 to 2,000 weddings each year. Forever Floral by Bonnie only needs to capture about 1% of that market share, which is 50 to 20 bookings annually. This demonstrates that even a small share of the market creates a strong opportunity for sustainable growth.
It is important to note that Forever Florals by Bonnie is not a full-service florist. Instead, I complement additional florals by focusing on the more visually impactful elements within it. My inventory currently includes flower walls, floral colors, ceremonial arrangements, and I'm planning on adding floral arches and item workers. These are the statement pieces, the elements guests see first in the moments that are most photographed. This design is handcrafted using premium real touch florals and high quality materials, crafted to reflect the current wedding. This allows me to deliver a luxury look without the premium price tag of fresh floral installations. Forever Florals by Bonnie operates on an asset-based rental model. This floor installation is built once and they're rented multiple times. Most pieces recover their costs within just 2 to 3 rentals, and they continue generating revenue for multiple seasons. This creates high margins, low onboarding costs, and a highly scalable business structure. Currently, I offer individual pricing, and I'm expanding into bundle packages that reflect how couples plan their wedding, with an average booking of between $850 and $900. Strong combination of business and creative experience. With over 3 years as a procurement buyer and 12 years in insurance, I have expertise in cost control, business operations, and risk management. Combined with floral design and marketing training, I am well equipped to grow this business. Business, I'm focusing on social media marketing, attending bridal shows, and expanding my inventory. And of course, partnering with venue and other vendors. Because weddings are highly visual, this allows me to showcase my work directly to my target audience. My projections are based on the number of weddings I can realistically serve. Approximately 12 weddings in 2026, 30 in 2027, and 60 weddings by 2028 as inventory expands. Because this is a rental-based business, profit margins increase significantly over time, with break-even reached at approximately 7 to 8 weddings per year. As the business grows, I plan to expand inventory, strengthen vendor partnerships, and serve larger markets such as yours. Long term, the business has the potential to support 40 to 60 weddings in events per year. Forever Florals by Bonnie is more than a floral business. It is a scalable rental model that allows couples to create beautiful, high-end weddings without the high cost and waste of traditional florals. We are not just decorating weddings, we are redefining how they are designed. Thank you.
Questions?
One thing that jumps out to me when I was reviewing the business plan, I didn't see any labor expense in your projections, and some of those pieces look fairly large. So, are you planning to do this all on your own, or?
Currently, yes. Eventually, then I will definitely have to get some help.
You stated that originally people were spending thousands on flowers. How did you come up with your pricing?
That's a great question. So the pricing, I actually I reached out to some of the some florists, one whatnot, and it kind of gave me an idea of how much fresh florals were. So I kind of based it off of that, and then of course on the cost of my
You had mentioned about partnership and building those relationships, especially with your background. What steps will you take to build those relationships and become a recommended vendor?
Okay. Well, for example, this past Saturday, I reached out to a venue. They were having an expo at their venue. I reached out. They were nice enough to invite me, and I was able to share some We're just reaching out and building that.
Can I touch the flower?
When it comes, because they're reusable, how are you selecting which flowers you're putting in there? Is it just the flowers that everyone chooses for their weddings? I'm not married, so I'm not sure. But does everyone use the same roses and does everyone like the same colors? Or are you gonna have something where someone likes lighter or someone wants a pink wedding? And how are we choosing flowers that go into the reusable?
Perfect. Okay, so right now I'm focusing on just neutral colors because they're the most popular. And then what I can do is I'm planning on purchasing more flowers, different colors, so that when the brides ask me, oh, I want this color, I can just pop it into whatever colors.
Another question in regards to expenses. This is personal to me because my wife just made a bunch of arrangements for her sister's wedding, and it was all stored in our garage. So I didn't see any like rental expense. What are you going to do for storage?
So right now they're in my basement. Out of the basements on our box.
Just a little bit along the labor side of things. You talked about serving Salina and Wichita, just within those areas. What's your plan to manage delivery, setups, tear down logistics as your number of events increase? How do you plan to do that?
So the plan is currently I'm the only one traveling from back and forth. But I do have a sister in Wichita, so eventually if the business does grow that big, I can take her. And that's the plan.
So, on your last slide, you showed 60 presentations in 1 year. Outside of June and October, I mean, is that, what makes you that's a realistic number to think do in 1 year? Given it's 2 weeks a year and some months you gotta go slow as far as weddings are concerned. Talk a little bit how you came up with the 60 number.
So that would be kind of like working, they're doing like 2 events on one day of the weekend for working events from like March up until November. Because I did have a wedding in November, so in Angela, we just had someone reach out earlier today, which was planning a wedding in January. So things are kind of changing now where people even move for weddings during.
Got a couple more minutes.
On you doing your inventory in the basement right now, right? As that demand grows, how will you decide your new floor pieces to meet the needs of the clients and to invest in those maximizing lanes? How would you decide what's next?
Well, depending on which one gets rented the most, like for example, I want to make sure if people that have people interested in it needs to be rented more often, then I will have to bring a copy and eventually we'll have to put it in the storage area.
Okay, let's give Bonnie a hand.
And you should grab cookies and brownies and drinks with the back, okay?
Drink of that Oreo coffee I saw.
Perhaps.
Pick first one up for you. I don't think it's gonna be the same as the Susie's projected.
Yeah, I think it's Oh, great. Oh, great. Oh, I think we have something.
Yeah. Each year, the Youth Entrepreneurship Challenge occurs about a month, or a couple of weeks before this event. So it's been our policy, our desire to have the youth winner come over and take part in this event. So I'm not saying anything about this guy's age, but he was the recent winner, so you can guess from there. So we have Heiko, the company name, Liam Dinu Young is our contestant, so let's give him a welcome.
About 2 years ago, I went hiking the Colorado backcountry trails with some family and friends, and it was one of the best experiences of my life. The reason being because my father, who had many years of experience hiking, was able to cover all the logistics, meaning the planning and the gear preparation. So we were able to enjoy a truly stress-free experience in the nature of our hiking. And as we returned home, it got me thinking, how come so many other people don't do this? Well, there's a reason. As much as people try to achieve the hiking experience, many of them simply not able to. And that's because most hikers gravitate towards well-known trails, because those are the only options found through standard search and social media. Even when aware of these hidden trails, most enthusiasts are deterred by the steep upfront cost of hiking gear. Because of the steep upfront cost of specialized gear for a hobby they have yet to master. And that's why we created Hiko, to find and deliver that experience. Hiko is an all-inclusive hiking service that provides the gear, expert guides, and food needed to explore the secluded backcountry trails that do not exist on the mainstream map. Now, the U.S. hiking tourism industry is valued at $67 billion in 2025, and projected to reach $236 billion by 2030. There are many trends boosting this growth, the main ones being passive wellness, which is a deliberate disconnection from daily stressors, digital detox, which is abstinence from everyday electronic devices, and the most important one, decision detox, where people want to go on vacations and experiences where they don't have to worry about any religions, stress-free, and everything's covered. So our target market is going to be high-income professionals who have experiences over goods, ages 35 through 55, have a household income of $150,000, and come from major hubs like Wichita, Kansas City, Tulsa, Omaha, and more. And of course, our marketing efforts are going to be based mainly on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Google Ads. Now, what exactly does Hiko offer and where? So what we've done is that we've created a customizable booking system on our website so that each of our clients can go through and find exactly what they're looking for. First, we have a booking type. So we start with private, public, or corporate retreat booking. Then we have a skill level that matches exactly what we're looking for. Then it redirects you to a trail that matches the skill level, and finally the duration. And of course, most of our trails are going to be based in Kansas. So for example, we have the Flint Hills Trail, which is the day trip at a novice skill level. The Horse Deep Canyon Trail, which is a one-night expedition at an intermediate level. Next up, we have Elk River Trail, which is 2 nights and is at a difficult level. And finally, of course, we do have some hikes outside of Kansas. This one's in Arkansas. This is Eagle Rock Loop, 3 nights for the duration of the expedition at an expert level. And of course, all of this comes with the high-quality gear that we provide to each of our customers. So we make sure that all of this gear, including the high-quality gourmet food packs, hammocks, as well as sleeping bags and lightweight backpacks, to make sure that the experience is not only fun, but also it's also sorry guys. Sorry about that. Anyway, it's going to make sure that everything is going to be efficient and comfort is at the forefront of our expeditions. Now, our guides are going to cover everything from cooking utilities to navigation, as well as water filtration, and most importantly, safety. Since we operate in the backcountry, safety is our priority. That's why we provided our guides with CPR training, first aid kits, as well as Garmin InReach, which is satellite communication. We also plan to make sure that our local rescue teams are aware of our operations so that in the event that something does happen, we're prepared. Of course, our tours are going to be covered by Veracity Insurance and Hiko's LLC. Now, who exactly is our competition in all of this? Well, we have Equipped Outdoors from Kansas City, REI Co-op Expeditions. And the reason why there are very few competitors in Kansas is because it has an underserved outdoor market. And so with Equipped Outdoors and REI Co-op Expeditions, the main issues with these is that they do not provide any of their services in Kansas. And so they're neglecting the beautiful backcountry trails that we do have here in Kansas. They also, their main focuses are going to be outside of the state, in well-known crowded trails in other national parks. And they also do not provide the curated hiking sets that each of our clients are looking for. So, and of course, we have DIY hiking as well. The main issue with this is that not only do you have to cover all the logistics, the planning and everything, you have to pay for the steep upfront cost of the expensive hiking gear needed to do all of this. And the hiking, or the safety of or the aspect of safety is also missing without an expert guide. Now, our 3-year projected income is going to be $91,000 the first year, $200,000 the second year, and $300,000 the third year. And this is good. This is a perfect example of how scalable this business model is. We plan to go beyond just Kansas's borders because all we need is a guide in the right location, proper access to backcountry trails, and all Highco needs to do is provide them the appropriate gear and training. Now, the industry standard for a hiking business like this is going to have a 50 to 70% gross profit margin. Highco sits right in the middle at 59%. The net profit margin, the industry standard is 10 to 20%. Highco sits well above at 39%. And that's why we're able to reach our break-even at 3-4 months of operation. Now, why exactly choose Salina as our launch pad for operations? Well, the main reason, there's a few reasons, but the main ones are going to be its proximity to local trails, as well as its booming downtown economy that provides a safe, economically viable place to operate, and its underserved outdoor market. Our future plans are going to be to collaborate with the Smoky Hill River Project in order to provide kayaking services on the river. Not only is this going to maximize the potential of the project, but it also provides yet another recreational option for the citizens of Salina. And that's why not only Highco wins, but Salina does too. We're hiring and training local guides, making Salina a hub for outdoor recreation. This will attract younger generations and bring in attention and tourism revenue from not just in the region, but beyond. And finally, our proposal. Our starter capital is estimated to be around $15,000 in order to launch, covering everything from marketing efforts to initial gear inventory, guide payroll, insurance, websites, accounting. Highco makes Salina the starting point for the road less taken. Judges, thank you for your time. Do you have any questions?
You have a few questions, but I'll start off with the first one. How many guides do you currently have now?
Right now, it's just going to be me as the first guide, and we plan to expand to one every year until it's going to be exponential.
And so, as demand grows, how do you plan to add additional guides, and how will that impact your margins and operations model?
Well, say that again.
As you grow, how do you plan to add those additional guides, and then how will that impact your margins and operating model?
Well, so the plan is, of course, since we mentioned before that we're going to expand beyond Kansas's borders, there's many backcountry trails that require a lot of, we can't cover them all, right? And so a need for guides is going to be necessary, and that's why we're going to add one or two each year. And when it comes to the, what did you say again?
Your operating model, how would you increase that? How will that impact?
Yeah, so the great thing about it is that with each guide, it's going to make much more than what it costs to pay them. Each of these guides are going to be on contract, so they're not going to be permanent employees. And so that gives us the flexibility to match the demand going on. And so say, for example, there's going to be less demand this year. We don't need as many guides. The great thing is we don't have to fire them because they're already part-time. And we have
on the liability side of things, I'm sure you'll have insurance in place.
Yes.
That will your hikers also be required to sign a waiver?
Yes, we'll make sure that there's some legal steps behind this to make sure that all parties are going to be they don't have to deal with any legal issues or anything like that. We plan to be covered by veracity insurance, and we're gonna make sure the hike goes in LLC, just in case it happens. And like I said, we're gonna have as many precautions as possible when we're having our tour guide in the back of the trails.
With your trails not being on the map, how are you finding these trails? And how are you, I guess, verifying them before you send people there?
So what we do is, of course, thorough research, as well as the fact that I have personally, as well as some family members, we've gone on these hikes, and so we can confirm that a lot of these are up to the standard. And like I said, we'll make sure that each trail has gone through thorough research to match exactly what we're looking for. And that's going to come up with the terrain, as well as how long it's going to be. And so again, that's going to hopefully, we'll be able to put that into our customizable booking system, so customers know exactly what they're getting.
What's the verification for your customers' levels? So let's just say I'm brand new, but I want to try the intermediate one. What testing do you have towards like, I can't take you on this, you have knowledge of novice?
Well, so part of it, of course, is going to be what the client thinks they can do. The great thing about this is that we have a guide with it, and so they'll be able to understand, when it's time to go back, even if the customer doesn't realize it. The thing about that is that while some people may go in and realize they're not as prepared as they typically are, because of the safety precautions and the guides we have, we're able to cut some hikes short in case we have to. So, there's some preventative measures in case people aren't as prepared as they can.
I saw some first aid kits there as well, which is great. On the safety side, how do you plan to maintain safety for your guests as well as your team that you're putting together, along with permitting compliance and consistency as you expand your region?
Well, when it comes to maintaining quality for each of the guys, the thing is that when it comes to the hiring process, we want to make sure that not only are these people qualified, but they're heavily trained by us. We're going to make sure that they reach each of our standards and put them through training to make sure that they're actually able to execute this in real time. So we will be able to create mock tours to see if they really are trying to do it, as well as maybe putting in, I might go into some hikes once in a while and really see if they're keeping up the standards, while we're not looking. And so, we're going to make sure that there are going to be there's going to be quality control with each of our hike guides.
With your target market being people of high income, with all of the equipment that they're getting, are they able to keep it? Because I think that people like to stay with the whole experience, they had a great time. They don't want to go shopping for something that they just used for the last 3 days and they loved it. Is there an option to keep the equipment, or is it just for rent?
The whole system with it here is that when people pay the upfront cost, everything's going to be covered. So that's the whole point of it being stress-free. That since everything's covered, all the hiking gear is going to be curated to exactly what they need, and exactly what the trail is going to look like. And so we'll be keeping the gear, and the beauty about it is that, say some people do enjoy hiking, but they don't do it all the time. That gear may not be getting its money's worth, and that's why we have this system in place, so that when people do want to go hike, they're able to use the high quality gear that they're looking for, but they don't have to spend a ton of money on it because they know they're not going to use it.
So on your inventory, you showed 10 backpacks and 10 the campers. Is 10 the ideal number of people that go on those trips? And given as you answer that, what's the minimum number of people that would make a profitable exercise for you all?
Well, like I said, in each of the gear, it's going to completely depend. Say if you're doing the Wesleyan Canyon Trail for one night, compared to Eagle Rock Loop, you don't need nearly as much gear. And so, like I said, it's going to be customized to find exactly what each person needs. Because when it comes to hiking, each ounce counts. If you're going to hike, you want to make sure it's comfortable and it's not too much of a burden to carry. And so that's why each of these are going to be customized. And when it comes to, you were saying, with the minimum amount of people, the plan is to have around 7 to 8 people for each hike in order to make it a profitable hike. The thing is, the beauty about the customizable system is that it also acts as a filter. because we're going to use that data to find exactly where the demand is for some hikes. If there is only 4 people that want to go on the Horsey Canyon Trail and 8 or 9 people wanting to go on Eagle Rock Trail, but then we will be able to find out exactly where we need to put our efforts in. So that's how we're going to figure out exactly where our most profitable activity.
Is this one of the sample backpacks here?
Yes, it is.
Can you show us a little bit of what's in there?
I believe we have. My father went hiking on with this just a few days ago, and so maybe that's still some of the gear in here, but we have a lot of the cooking utilities, water bottles, hiking poles, and hammocks as well. The thing is, what we like to do when it comes to the gear that we're buying is we want to make sure it's cutting edge, and so instead of just regular tents, we use hammocks, which is essentially like hammocks, except they're going to be with the best material for hiking, so it protects you with the elements, and it's like 4 pounds. Compared to a huge tent, I mean, it's going to save you a ton of weight, and you get equal amount of comfort. And so, yeah, you have toothbrushes here. Oh my gosh, what did you put in here?
It's a little house on the wheels.
Yeah, wonderful. On bags too. So, yeah.
Let's give William a hand. Yeah, I remember those days. A long time ago.
Thank you.
Okay. Get something. Brownie cookie.
Yeah,
Water.
brownie cookie, that's more sweet.
I'm telling you.
Hey, our next contestant, she's gonna tell you what our business is, just from the name alone, you guess maybe. Organized Chaos Consulting LLC. Celine Wright is our next contestant. Let's give her a welcome. All right, that's all that's. There you go.
Why organizing matter? Better question. Sorry. Pretty much everybody, right? You don't want to run your home, you don't want to be in chaos, you want to run your home. So, people who benefit from home organizing are folks, overstimulated homeowners. It helps with their mental health status, their anxiety, ADHD. And then with depression, you just don't want to. And look at it and you've got to a point where you're right. So that's your argument. Lack of functional storage. That's what's fine. And then busy lifestyles and no time for breaks. So that's, of course, what I do. What do I offer? Home organizing, closets, pantries, kitchens, bedrooms, kids' playrooms, office organizing. If you have an office space and you recently moved in there or downsized, digital organizing. This is a new one for me. I'm actually practicing this on myself before I actually put it out there, but I do offer it. This is more so like people who have, a lot of their documents on their computers, not pre-documented. And it's just saved in these files all over the back of, on their screen of their computers. And instead of having all these little folders of just like one thing, you can merge them together. And some people just don't know how to do that, or they don't have the time. They don't want to. So. So my services breakdown. I do decluttering with organizing. Decluttering is pretty much just picking up pile of, like, you pick up a pile of clothes, storing through what fits, what doesn't fit. I do also just do decluttering, because some people just don't want to. I think they should. I understand that. I do have a cleaning and organizing level, because home organizing is not necessarily. I don't wipe baseboards, I don't clean toilets, I don't do any of that, but I do partner with another company that does cleanings, and then I come in right after her and I do the organizing. If you just need somebody to help you bag or box things to donate, I do that too. That's a service that I offer. I would drop it off for you if you don't want to do it. Virtual consoles. Those are more so for folks that don't want somebody in their home. Like I said, not everybody wants somebody in their space, and that's okay. They just want to know where can I start. Can you help me figure out where I start? You give me ideas, and that's those virtual consoles. And then everybody gets a free console. So if you send me a message and you want to talk about the services, how much it's going to cost, what do you think I should do, or you want that, those are all free. And from there, in that free console, that's when we discuss next steps. Like, what we're going to do. Do you want to follow through with it? Do you want to think about it? My target market, busy professionals, families, small business owners, single parents, and elderly. I specifically like to focus on single parents. And I don't just say single moms because there are single dads. Few parts of me. And the elderly. And I say the elderly because a lot of our nursing home community, a lot of them go from 3-4 bedroom homes that they lived in their whole entire life, and they're downsized to 1 bedroom. And they're having to get rid of all of these things that we know that. So being able to help them keep the things that mean something, how to have a place. And then be like, hey, I don't think you need that. You use that in 6 months. You can afford that, you fit this, and then help them go through that. Growth and opportunity. So home organizing is very popular. I'm going to tell you guys how I always want more. I'm ADHD, Virgo, all that. I am that to a T. So, I love to clean, I love to organize, which is what I do. Always done it. I never thought about doing it for anybody else, besides for being like this. But, I was sitting at home one day, watching Netflix, and a home organizing show was on there. And I said, wait. And I was like, well, watch this. So I watched it, and I was like, yeah, every Sunday. So I did research. I looked up, you can become a certified professional organizer, 1,500 hours of paid service. Take a test, that's $400. And I was like, wait, do I need to take the test before I do it? No. I organize, perfect myself, all of that. How do I get my clients? Social media, word of mouth, referrals, community engagement. I partner with a lot of small businesses around town. I do a little post Sunday on my Facebook page every Sunday. Why do I stand out? Super relatable. I'm here to judge you, I'm here to help you. I don't care how you got here, why you got here. I do care, but not to the point where I don't. I want you to feel safe when you come home. I want you to feel like this is your safe space. I want you to come and feel proud to have people at your house. proud that this is your home. That is my goal.
Hourly versus package rates, I chose hourly, I charge hourly. I charge minimum working hour, just because I have to organize the clock in an hour.
Sure, those can ask any questions.
So as far as local competition, what's that look like?
Honestly, when I looked it up there, I didn't see anybody else that specifically just did people that be cleaning, they're like, oh, just specifically focus on organizing five, I haven't seen or heard anybody, at least in this line. There is somebody in which there's a couple people in Shaw. And Kansas City, of course, are the bigger cities, but the surrounding cities, I've not heard.
You know, and then the other question I had is, what went into determining your projected income?
So if I was to do 3 clients a week for 2 hours, if I was to do, if I was to do 6 to 7 hours per week, so that could be anywhere from 3 to 4 clients. At $50 an hour, that's 300 billable hours a year. And that would project me at about 15,000 if I was to have that 2 to 3 client ratio. And then with all of my monthly costs, profit-wise, I would probably bring back, when I did it correctly, it was about 11,000 after my monthly cost, bills, supplies, and 3, yeah.
You talked about a wide range of clients as you listed that. Family, seniors, assisted living, parents, things of that nature. What part do you see as your strongest long-term opportunity? How will you take your services to them?
So I have recently drafted up letters for all of these counselors to their admin department to try and partner with them in order to help them out. I know that they're all symptoms, and it's expensive. It's like $6,000 for this retirement homes a month. So I'm trying to figure out something that can crowd with them to where it just be part of their contractors. So that way they're not too far out of pocket.
Being a stress investing person myself, do you ever go back and just see if they maintain the neatness that you presented, or I'm going to establish a retaining kind of a contract with them?
So it's funny that you say that, because all my clients, so to this day that I've had, they will text me randomly, like, my closet looks great, and just send me pictures. I don't even have hats. They're just so proud of themselves for keeping up what I help them with. I had one client literally tell me, I did too much closet. It was great, and she kept it. It's like, her daughter's 7, so that's a big thing for her.
The decluttering and the organizing, is that always with the client? You had mentioned you're getting rid of things that they've had for years. Is there an option to declutter and without the client, and is there an option to do it with the client?
Yes. So it is completely up to the client how they want to declutter. If they want to be with me to make sure I don't throw anything in the value away, that's fine. I usually tell them if they do have anything in the value and I can't by myself, to make sure that they put that in a safe space. So that way, that's not something that comes up.
As you're going into the decluttering, just in homes in general, do you have any safety measures for yourself? Do you wear PPE stuff? Do you
Do backgrounds have you have a screening to determine that it's safe to go into your house?
So usually when I have somebody that has emailed me for a conflict, I will have them send me pictures of the space that I want to store and or a video. So like I'll have them take me pictures or a video and send it to me so that way I can see what the space looks like. And then kind of give me an idea of what you're wanting. So that I can get some ideas for like different.
As a follow-up to where just a, like, allows anything that,
Usually not, just because, there's never anything more than dust that I have to look at. So, but if I was to go into your place, I was fearful of something, I would, probably be mad.
if awarded any money tonight, what would be your main priority focus with it?
So I just recently started, community initiative. For every 6 bookings that I get, I get a free service. And that money will go to getting supplies for that free service.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Part of getting ready for this, I reviewed all the videos that everybody submitted, and this is the first of 2 couples that are going to be presenting tonight. So see how they get along. Hopefully, they're getting along pretty good. We've got the Maker Shop, Wendy and Matt Plunder are here, going to talk about their business plan. Take it away.
Many children, we're always looking for ways to have fun. And the way I feel in the past is through these kinds of brackets that you find at the stores. The problem with these is that they're cheaply made. Our kids lose interest in about 15 seconds, and then they lose another one.
You found there.
We're renting that, we're opening up a storefront business in downtown Windsor on Main Street, in the building where I already see clients in the past business.
Our business is called the Maker Shop. We sell high-quality art supplies, project kits, and offer a maker space for hands-on learning. We're not just selling art supplies. We are a creative hub for community.
Every experience as a therapist and that brings experience of a teacher. So our advantage is that our tools are rooted in a therapeutic and educational experience, not just creativity, but clinical insight. That's not something that's easily replicated by our big box competitors.
We share responsibility for business operations and execution. We'll operate it as an LLC and we'll have a soft launch in April and be fully. Our business model includes 3 streams of revenue, and our revenue is intentionally diversified, which lowers risk and creates sustainability. Each revenue stream intersects with the others, offering varied levels of participation and promoting repeat visits. Our customers will come for a specific item, but inevitably stay for the experience.
Retail sales include high-quality art supplies and our custom-made project kits. Experiential sales include workshops, events, and our makerspace. And then within about 6 months, we want to launch online so that we can reach out on Spirit. We're most excited to launch our specialty project kits. So most store-bought kits are disposable. You make something once, it sits around on your counter for a while, you eventually throw it out for once you use for it.
Our kits are different.
Designed as reusable tools for connection. They include high-quality materials, clear instructions, and guided prompts that encourage wellness concepts. They're based on real therapeutic practices that I already use with my clients, educational activities that Matt uses in his classroom, and tools that we use. This means we're not asking about what works. We're selling evidence-based tools and activities.
The kits hold 2 major ways that they're valuable. First, in making the kit, you have an experience you get with your family, and then they are also a therapeutic tool you get to use over and over and over. Through the funding, through the Charlie Walker Foundation, we'll be able to purchase inventory to supply these kits and sell them right. There are 3 ways that customers will be able to experience the Maker Shop. First, we'll have customers come in for retail purchasing. They'll be able to grab what they need, stay, and use our makerspace. They'll also have the option to grab what they need and take it home for practicing from home. And eventually we will have our online sales.
Our initial target customers are experience-driven visitors that come for events, parents seeking meaningful activities for their families, local educators and college students, and therapists that are looking for ready-to-use.
Our long-term goals, we're going to seek to fill gaps in services to specialized groups.
We're uniquely positioned to capture at the crossroads of 3 growth markets: so arts and crafts, tourism, and mental wellness. I've already had therapist colleagues ask me when they can purchase our kits to do some their own graphics.
We're going to be located in Lindsborg, and Lindsborg attracts 40,000 to 50,000 visitors annually through events that they have every 3 to 5 weeks.
This creates a constant built-in flow of foot traffic, ideal for experiencing businesses like ours, and without a lot of additional advertising. Our marketing strategy includes leveraging Lindsborg's well-established downtown community. We are already in communication with the Community Visitors Bureau and will participate in ad hoc meetings. We'll promote organic marketing by inviting customers to share their creations online, turning each and every product into an experience, into an opportunity to promote our business's visibility. Launching our website will then convert our out-of-town visitors to repeat customers outside of month events.
We believe that this will be a highly profitable business model for us. Our kits have contribution margins of up to 70%. So for example, we have pictured our Silly Socks kit for 4, has a variable cost of $10, but we'll be able to sell it $5. And then we have Date Night kit for 2, has a variable cost of $13, we'll be able to sell for $30. Retail products in general will offer 50 to 55% in profit. And because we're sharing the space with Brittany's current private practice, we're going to be able to lower our costs upfront for our monthly operations. Looking at our monthly operations costs, we estimate we'll have a fixed monthly cost of about $3,000 in the beginning. We're going to be open on Fridays and Saturdays. So we're only going to be open 8 days. And because of this, we only need to produce $375 a day to break even. And that doesn't include our experiential, like hands-on
events that we will be able to launch at the store or our online sales. Eventually, we're going to increase our business hours and increase how many days we
Our goal is simple, but meaningful tools in the hands of makers. Tools that help people connect, grow, and create together.
We're not just selling our supplies, we're creating tools for connection using our expertise.
Remember that cheaply made graphic that we showed you before? This is one of ours. So we made this the other day with our kids at the table when we needed a break from prepping to the presentation. And we brought it with us today to do some room to help calm our nerves and help us stay connected with each other. So already has offered us 2 opportunities to be present and connect with one another.
So you mentioned that there's already been therapists reaching out to you for your kids. So it's how long you've been making them and how you got marketed there.
We haven't marketed at all. We're not in production yet, but we, through conversations with colleagues, they're immediately excited. Oh my goodness, I would so use that with my clients when can I buy. So then we can say, oh, we're doing this and our birds are doing a pen in May. So that's been really exciting to just hear that people are already really excited about it. We already have some customers.
You had talked a little bit about keeping your overhead low, right, because you're sharing your business. And then also long-term, maybe hiring some employees to add to your business. What roles or responsibilities do you expect to delegate first? And how will you maintain the intentional therapeutic relationship-centered environment that you're creating? How will you continue with that?
Yeah. Well, our first 2 employees are going to be our own children. So we're 2 teenagers, and they're just amazing kids and just have a heart for, they're so creative and have a heart for people. So I really feel like this will be mostly, just within our family business. But they also have several friends who are really interested in this. So, our strategy would be to bring on people who understand and are passionate about working with people and who love to be creative. And so as far as delegating, I would foresee that Matt and I would probably run most of the events or be present in classes, and then delegate more of the retail sales kind of thing to our employees.
Focus on developing the kids and different things like that, which is where really expertise comes in. Retail, we discuss.
I don't know that necessarily each and every experience within our shop will be explicitly therapeutic, right? So we'll have other teachers come in and do hands-on workshops and things. This is sort of, like the meat and potatoes of the kits will be coming from our brains.
Is there anything like that in Lindsburg already? So no craft stores at all?
Yeah, so this was like a big missed opportunity in our community because Lindsburg and Salina and the surrounding communities they're so passionate about arts, right? Art of all kinds. But we don't in Lindsburg have a place where people, makers, families, professional, resident artists can get what they need or even stay inside of creation. So occasionally we have a little class on a Saturday morning. That's about once a month.
So in terms of retail, we'll be the only kind of specifically art shop that will be offering high quality art supplies. I could run a Walmart, but the stuff that they're selling is not going to necessarily tailor to an artist. And I think the closest one is Manhattan in terms of like specifically artists.
Could you clarify, you said over and over again, so you take it home, you assemble it, then you break it down and assemble it again, is that what you mean by over and over again?
So all of our kits will be using higher quality items. So like these are oven baked clay little creatures and we make a checker set. So we'll be able to play checkers a million times with our kids, or we can take it with us, it comes in its own little pouch. So the making part is kind of a one-off experience, but the use of it is what I think makes it so different.
How do you crown the king on that checkers?
We figured out that was a flaw in our kit. We sat out here and used it, but that's how we're going to create these products, right? Is to sit down and use them and test them out and figure it out. Yeah.
Awesome, thank you. You mentioned, it is in Williamsburg.
Yeah.
And there's a strong tourism there, and obviously a lot of people all the way around. What strategies will you use during your slow season? Be sure that you're still maintaining that steady revenue and keep everyone engaged to come to your store.
Partnerships will be really important. So coupling, even small events, we're doing this in April as our soft launch. Wesleyan Room is the base of it for the spring event. And we're not quite ready to fully open our doors, but we're going to have a product. All right, so now the doors open, we can talk to the curious people. We had the Waffle Festival the other day, and people were pouring on the door. So people are ready for that. So I think if we just really concentrate on partnering with the existing cities and events,
We've also planned on potential renting out space for people that want to do classes and things like that.
Parties. So I think that's birthday parties in Williamsburg, so. That's
All right, thank you all very much. Maker shop, that was from Randy and Vandenberg. Thank you all. Okay, let's welcome our next couple. This is Kellen and Jesse Omachil. This Moment Mobile Events. Thank you all.
My name is Danielle.
And together we are This Moment Mobile Events.
This concept started some years ago when we attended a wedding in Houston, Texas. Guests were gathered around a floatable lamp. They were laughing, using props, taking pictures, and connecting in a way that we never could. At that moment, we knew that we wanted to bring back to experience, back to Salina, Kansas.
This Moment Mobile Events is an event entertainment business that is based here in Salina. Me and Yesenia started our LLC this past year in 2025. This dream was brought to life with lots of hard work, sacrifice, and the use of our own personal savings to purchase equipment.
Our goal is simple. Helen and I wanted to build something together. Something that brings people together and celebrates events, people, something that enhances every event, and something that brings people from all walks of life together.
All right, so here are a couple services that we currently offer. This is Momento. This is our traditional indoor photo booth. This rental begins with a 3-hour period and is rated at $600. There are additional hours that can be added on. And that whole package includes staffing. We set it up, tear it down, and then we also had a lot of fun-filled props for kids, adults. We have hats, glasses, and then we also have some custom hand props for, weddings, or baptisms, or even things like that. Next, we want you guys to step inside Capsula. So this is our 1970s renovated photo booth camera. So it's the same concept with the photo booth, but what we can do is detach the head from Memento, and we put it inside Capsula. Now we set up the prop table outside. I guess you can fit maybe 8 comfortably in there. At times maybe get 12, 15 people if they really get excited about it. And they go in and take their pictures, and then we supply them with unlimited prints throughout the whole rental of the Capsula. And that starts at 3 hours as well, with a starting price of $985.
Meet Echo, our audio guest. Echo rents for $350 for the duration of your event. How this works is people pick up the rotary phone and leave a heartfelt message for the person being celebrated. After the event, the person being celebrated gets a USB drive with all the messages to listen for years to come. We had this at our wedding and it was a big hit.
So we are aware there are a few competitors in the area, but we believe what makes us different is that we offer multiple experiences through one. Our 1970s vintage camper, Capsula, is a very unique experience, and for outdoor wedding events, it also adds a little bit of decoration that attracts people to the photo booth. We also supply unlimited prints to the guests, and we also use DSLR photography to capture high quality photos. We are also working very hard to get our mobile bar expansion up and running.
The local market is strong. In Salina alone, there are over 350 weddings per year. This brings in over $10 million to the local economy. There is a growing demand for interactive events, and people want to book different things for their events. Us having multiple services under one vendor is our competitive advantage.
So our target clients include couples, families, businesses, corporations that want to plan interactive events so their guests aren't just maybe waiting at the table for the bride to come around and take pictures. They engage there, get some viewing, and creates conversation. A few events that we have done so far this year include a client appreciation. We did a soccer gala. We did a elementary fun night, just to name a few.
For marketing, we want to focus heavily on social media marketing. We also want to partner with venues in the area. We want to attend bridal shows and community events. Word of mouth is also very important. We want to offer good service so people can speak good about us. And we want people to engage with us through our website.
So here are our first year financial projections. Our average revenue starts at $600 with the traditional Memento photo booth, and can go up to $985 with Capsula. We are projecting to book 25 to 30 events this year, which would bring in about this year's revenue to $16,500. Our break-even point is about 19 events. So you can see we kind of operate with very high margins.
For 2026, we want to continue to advertise our photo booth and our audio deck. For the fall of 2026, we want to have our mobile bar up and running and hopefully book 1 to 2 events before the year ends. For 2027, we want to hopefully have more events booked, and we also want to add staff to our team. For the future, we want to expand our service area to surrounding communities. If we play today, we want to finish our mobile bar renovation. We also want to purchase the correct licensing equipment needed to run that. We want to expand our marketing, and we also want to offer another service of keychains and magnets that will be offered through our photo booth service. Help us turn our yellow Cushman truckster on the left to the picture on the right, our inspiration picture. A fun fact about this truckster is you can actually drive it in 2 minutes. We want to partner with places like Blue Sky to offer seasonal draft beers and custom cocktails.
We are aware that we are a unique experience, and we offer unique experiences such as our photo booth camper and our soon-to-be mobile bar. Our startup plan is clear, and we have low costs. As you can see, I hope that our foundation is laid, and our passion is here. So help us turn this moment into moments much bigger.
Let's get this party started.
My understanding is if you win money here tonight, it would go towards the mobile bar, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
What's the estimated cost to complete that?
Probably over $5,000.
We currently do have the charter. We have that purchased already, and we've been starting to get it renovated as of right now. But that would help us complete like some fabrication that we needed done, courtesy of maybe like the CO2 system, things like that.
They will work out a keg. There'll be kegs on the back, and so people go up to the mobile bar and come and just grab them here.
You talked about growth and what you were shaping, and obviously it's kind of a nice projection as you go through that. What is your plan to manage capacity, scheduling, and service consistency? How will you keep up with market?
We eventually want to purchase another photo booth. So there's two of us. So if we purchase another photo booth, we could be at 2 locations at once. There is so many events just everywhere. For example, I'm graduating soon, and there's everything goes around town. So we know that demand is there. So yes, if we purchase another photo booth, then we'll be able to be at more than one place. And especially when we're able to have the capital and hopefully hire people to our team.
With your current services with Capsula and Echo, are there any models you do more than one at the same event? Or are they all just separate prices?
So right now we can't rent Capsula and Momento at the same because we use the heavy intro Momento to use Capsula. But yeah, we would bundle, the audio guest book and the photo booth together for, let's say, weddings.
So does the client need to provide the background or the picture momentum, or do you supply that? Like can Momentum do it itself on the screen?
So we do have a handful of backdrops, and very similar to maybe what you can see over here. But we will use that like on indoor events, and then we can create custom, backdrops, maybe some florals, things like that, inside of our Capsule and things like that. So we do provide that.
And one of the questions, so you explained very well that you can't use the two at the same time. So is the bar, it's outside of the venue, does that create any kind of potential challenges for you, or?
The thruster is drivable, so as we unload it, if there's like, let's say, maybe the County PT Event Center, or, there's a venue where it's 638, they have like a large access point, we can drive the thruster indoors and set it up in there as well.
And the good thing about it is there's two of us. So somebody could be the attendant for the photo booth, and the other one could be helping with the mobile art.
Just want to make a comment as a conservative banker. I appreciated that you guys had a contingency plan as part of your business plan.
Thank you.
Other questions? Have a hand. Okay, believe it or not, this is our test bed, so right there. Okay, Drew White is here with his company, White Buffalo Meat Company. So Drew, take it away, buddy.
Hi, everyone. My name is Drew White, and I'd like to talk with you today about my prospective business idea, White Buffalo Meat Company. So the American buffalo, also known as the American bison, it's actually a bit of a misnomer. When the American settlers first came to the United States, they thought there was some relation to the water buffalo. That's how the American bison got the nickname buffalo, which will hear interchangeably, but American bison is its proper name, and its scientific name is actually bison, bison, bison. They were too creative on the name. So, bison are the largest land mammal in North America. They can stand over 6 feet tall. They can run over 35 miles an hour. And they're really a self-sufficient animal. Like when you hear local farmers raising cattle, you'll hear struggles with like pulling calves, having to get out and break ice in the wintertime, things like that. Bison are not that way. They're completely self-sufficient. And they actually are one of the only animals in existence known to go into a storm versus running away from it. They know that it'll get through it faster that way. So, just giving you a few facts here. They're also designated as a keystone species, meaning that they're an essential part of our Great Plains ecosystem. And they are the official animal in the state of Kansas. And in 2016, they joined the ranks of the bald eagle as the national mammal, symbolizing the strength and resilience. Here. This one's just about as tall as me here. So the goal of my company is to provide lean, high-quality meat to consumers. So my target is going to be local consumers, potentially restaurants, and perhaps even a grocery store like a Fairland Market. And just want to provide a healthy, sustainable, non-GMO food, something that is healthy and also flavorful. So similar to beef with a lot of recipes, just the only thing is with having less fat, you want to cook it at a slightly lower temperature to prevent it from burning. So speaking of the market opportunity, the demand has been growing steadily with a superior nutrition profile and high protein, lower fat, and cholesterol than beef. The national market last year was about $800 million, going to be reaching close to $1 billion this year. And just wanted to tap into some of that market here locally. The closest place to get bison locally now, doing market research, would be Black Cattle Buffalo in Mount Ridge, or Great Plains bison near Manhattan. Here are some common cuts. Things that I would like to be able to bring to our customers here. Offering ground bird steaks, such as ribeyes, New York strips, tenderloins, filet mignon, roasts, and even summer sausage and jerky. And then bulk shares will also be available, such as a quarter, half, or whole animal for a better discount. Mock-up of some of our products available. And this is a really interesting fact here. So we've got lower fat than all of these other options, such as beef, pork, skinless chicken, and salmon. Higher protein, lower calories, lower cholesterol, higher B12 and iron compared to beef. Bison is a healthy option. And I'd like to be able to deliver locally for local consumer, offer a free delivery to anybody that lives in Saline County. And then for other options, for people that live farther away to ship it, dry ice and have frozen products available within the next day. The opportunity is there, and I appreciate you guys taking the time to listen to my speech. And thank you for hearing.
Thank you, Drew. So, I'm not, this has been critical, so anyway, but things working out. Splash. Okay, so, this is only critical, it's just a question I have. I remember when Ted Turner opened up the Buffalo, and that was like in the last century. It didn't seem like a very sustainable market or product, and then they disappeared. I mean, convince me that you believe there's a genuine growth market for Buffalo, which I think is good, and I mean that. I mean, it seems like we're waiting on the Buffalo markets to take off. So give me a sense of why you're confident that it is the right time to invest in this.
I'm confident that as people want to have a healthier option to eat and with a similar flavor profile to beef, it's something that's interchangeable with a lot of beef recipes, and just people liking a farm to table or a gate to plate sort of business plan, knowing that there's a local market and having an opportunity to have a fresh, healthy food delivered locally. I think there's a strong market there.
Drew, thank you. What about long-term, as far as your growth goes? What does that look like for your business? You have more animals, more land, also online, things of that
If you
nature?
could give me a second here to pull up my business plan here. I started with a conservative estimate of my first year to harvest 4 animals, and then added on 2 for each year following. And the break-even point for the budget would be within 3 to 4 years with a conservative estimate, and an estimated net profit of $5,000 to $8,000 with low operating costs. Estimated cost of goods sold of $10,000 to $12,000 for my first year, and gross revenue of $20,000. And that's with an average price with all the cuts of meat at $18, which is a fairly conservative estimate, with the national average being up to 20, like 11 to 20 per pound is the national average right now.
Understanding the benefits of it protein-wise, what sparked you to be interested in buffaloes?
My parents raised buffalo, so I would be partnering with my parents to have the bison harvested there and then processed at cradles.
And what makes your business different than what your family's currently doing?
Currently, my family will just sell the animals wholesale. Salina actually has the largest buffalo auction, a consignment auction here at the Farmers and Ranchers. But we've never been into the meat sales, so it's something that I'd like to branch out and do.
How do you plan to communicate that premium value to the community that really doesn't know much about?
Well, I'd like to just to reach out when we have interest, like through our Facebook page, and having customers reach out that way. We've got over 2,000 followers for White Buffalo Ranch. So I think there'll be a significant interest with transitioning into wholesale meat sales.
So do you currently have clients now?
I do not. It's still a prospective business at this point. Just like to get started.
Being in the food industry, what regulations, FDA, USDA, all of them?
Yeah. the Kansas Department of Agriculture has guidelines and also the USDA, so we have to keep in line with those. And especially if we're to be selling to anyone outside the state of Kansas. But if the Kansas Department of Agriculture is who would fall under for local.
Okay, let's give Drew a hand. We're coming to that point where these folks up here got some calculations to do, a little work, homework here, to start their numbers into the system that we talked about a little earlier, and then we're gonna have to go back and where the big computer tabulates all the answers. You know that, so that's my story. I'm sticking to it. So we got a little homework to do. So what we're going to do now, those of y'all are here, we're going to bring up our contestants up front, and they're going to answer questions. You don't want to come up front and answer questions. You don't have to. It's not a must do. But I know we've got people out in the crowd that are very curious. Want to hear more about business plans. Maybe the judges didn't ask the questions that they wanted to ask. So if y'all come up front, that'd be great.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Sorry.
Got two behind here. We're gonna steal them for the support staff. Sorry, you guys lose your turn. Oh. We used to hear them.
That's not. Just in case. You get two. Yeah. We're sure, right? I don't have to go to the gym.
Happy you.
Front of the crowd.
You want me to run? Absolutely. Let me get my section. I am.
Three. Okay. What questions do we have? Your friend is up here, you want to embarrass them? Make a funny comment about presentation?
Brad, I know you got a question. Brad.
Think of it.
Appetite presentation. Don, you got any questions? You were up here last year.
We have a question. Hold just a moment.
You guys had to do a business plan, submit it, and do a video. Do you think that's really gonna help you in real life, or is it a waste of time?
Give me that
I think it helps in real life because then you actually have to put it down, you can't fly by the seat of your pants, and you actually have to think these things through, figure out what these costs are going to be, and so it kind of helps reality set in as you're preparing to start your venture.
I have a question. So, show of hands, how many of you plan to do your own public bookkeeping, your own accounting? Let me see the hands. Yeah, okay, all right. Just curious.
Why are you asking that?
I kind of like debiting credits, I'm sorry. For the conservation.
Remember.
Okay, ready? Which side is the debit on, the left or the right?
Yes.
No, I was just trying to remember. The lady who does the organizing, I'm sorry I don't remember your name. But I'm curious about how long you have actually been doing this kind of thing for pay.
I've been doing it for exactly a year. I think my year mark, my anniversary was Friday.
All right, who's next? Who are you gonna ask the question of? Oh, okay, okay. We'll just go.
Is it safe?
Sure.
Okay. Do you have another job currently? I saw your projections for your hopeful amount of clients. Do you just do this on the side? Do you do this on weekends, evenings?
So, I have a lot of jobs. I work at the hospital full-time. I teach at Barton part-time. And I help a friend with marketing online part-time. And then, of course, I do my organizing. So my organizing is my priority really for my part-time. I usually do consults on Fridays. And then, because I only work half day on Fridays, so I have one to 6 o'clock to do hourly consults. And then I do my organizing on Saturday and Sunday.
Some experienced business people out there in the crowd. I can't call out any names, but I could.
Yeah, what a great question. What was the toughest part of prepping?
Start down here.
Yeah, I like that. What was the toughest part?
For me, it was public speaking, definitely. We practiced a lot to do this portion that we did today. We really wanted to improve from our pitch that we did, the 3-minute video. So, but yeah, that was the hardest for me. The business plan, once you started it, it just kind of, I don't know, we went to the training, so it was good, they were really helpful. So it just kind of like flew by honestly, but. Oh, yes, the SBA, amazing.
Yeah, what was the hardest part of prepping for this evening?
Absolutely, speaking. But definitely making sure that all the information that
Say the same thing, just gave me the courage to come up here for the first time and try something different out. It's definitely a leap thing.
I have to say the elevator pitch because I don't like the way I sound on camera.
I'm gonna say the business plan. I felt comfortable around people, talking to people, so that part came natural. I enjoyed that part of making the business plan and sitting there, figuring all that out was definitely a struggle.
for me, definitely the public speaking, especially with English being my second language. I feel like some of the words don't come out right, and my pronunciation, or talking too fast, so I'm so conscious of that. So that was difficult.
I think that the hardest part for me was working on the business plan and the financial aspect.
A little bit of a different concern thing, because we're like creatives and we're hard people, and so just trying to hone in on judges obviously care for good people, but they want to hear about the business, not about all of our ideas or how passionate we are. So just finding a balance in that took a lot of refining.
I didn't know if I might say this.
Go ahead.
I was just curious, what's the second business in Lynchburg? I don't think I caught that. Are you a counselor or what's the other business?
Therapist for about 6 years. So I've been seeing clients and we just started renting a space in Lewisburg because there aren't any other, well, now there's one other clinician that we're sort of partnering, but there aren't any other clinicians in Lewisburg. So I wanted to expand there. And, so I did that and we raised 6 children for a foster adoptive family and now we're opening a business.
I've got a question, two-part. What comments would you all have, how we can make this better? And how do you think we need to promote it to continue having people apply? You know, we've been averaging 10, we're down just a couple this year, got great candidates, love all you guys. I wish we had money for all I did. Unfortunately, that's not the way it works. So, any suggestions, thoughts, people that we need to, reach out to, how do we do that? I mean, we all know talk about social media, obviously that's what we've been working on, but anything else that we could improve to make this better, more inclusive, to get more people involved?
We were kind of curious on the judging process in general. Who is judging us, like all the pieces, because we weren't really sure that there wasn't clarity there at all of the times. It'd be helpful for people walking through it.
Yeah, we were surprised to learn that there was one judge for the business candidate video, right? So, we didn't know, is that the same judge across all of us? Does each person get a different judge?
Yes.
Yeah, there's that.
I agree with that, just clarification on the judging aspect of the elevator pitch video and the business plan. If there's any similarities for all of us, if that's the same judge. In some way to improve, I think focusing on social media is good, but perhaps using radio and TV options also be great.
So I didn't find out about this challenge, I said on social media, Facebook, but if you go maybe with some local restaurants or this out, people will know that business.
I think I agree with some of the others. Yeah, I had to search to find it this year. My son did it last year, and I still had to search to find the information this year. So just having that information available that it's going on, I think a lot of people would be interested in doing it. They just simply knew what was here. I mean, it's a great way to move the business forward. So I hope my others would join in. So just making known that it's you.
Yeah, I have to agree. The only reason why I knew is because I had contacted the Chamber of Commerce to get some information on the project open, and Jacqueline told me about it, and I signed up for everything. She can help me. But one good thing I would say, just sort of responsibility. So maybe some brochures, radio, that would definitely be great, get it out there.
Yeah, I would say for me, it was word of mouth. I knew some people who were a part of the competition last year, and that was how I was able to get all the information. So I would say, because of the marketing, I wasn't able to see too much just because of high school, but yeah, I mean, it was great to be able to have so much access to the information. Great to see a bit more of it on the website or VentureDash, just to get some clarifications.
I only learned about this challenge a few days before the deadline, and I was hosted. And how I learned about this challenge was through a poster at a Champagne coffee shop. So definitely one marketing. And I have as much time as I would like to do, but just marketing and how we're doing shows.
Said, I think it would be helpful to also go to involve the nonprofits and make sure there's flyers everywhere, because we get there's so much traction on the nonprofits. I think we would just get a lot of really interesting people and just a lot of cool business ideas from hitting up nonprofits.
I think I would say that I would like a little bit more constructive criticism before the presentation night, especially with the elevator pitch and I think the business plan. And I think some marketing that maybe isn't really taken advantage of would be a lot of people nowadays, there's no cable or anything like that. So using like streaming platforms, YouTube, Hulu, Disney, ESPN, things like that, getting it in front of people because, I mean, everyone watches TV on their phones nowadays. It's in their face. So I think just trying to get, little pinpoints in front of our community. And maybe even more local colleges, like McPherson, Barton, places like that.
All good comments. We'll definitely put those to use. Okay, I think the checks are here. Okay, so let's everybody get back, take a seat out in the crowd and clear these chairs. We'll just move them to the side. And one thing before I'm going to turn the microphone over, for the 5 winners, there's a package of information you need to pick up and take with you that has some detailed information. Before you collect your check, you have to provide us some detailed info, some tax stuff. There's some other things, including your life story. Now we don't need your life story. So, really pick that up. All right. Now, I'm going to hand this mic over very gladly to Renee Dexler, President of the Salina Area Chamber of Commerce. She is going to make the presentations.
All right. It's been the most fun of the night, and I'm glad that I'm able to do it. Like Mitch said, I'm Renee Dexler. I'm the President and CEO of the Salina Area Chamber of Commerce. Got to be a part of this when we launched it 5 years ago, John. Can you believe it? This has been 5 years. And we're able to corral some support for this and be able to do it. And there is a lot of businesses in our community that have been through this. And before we hand checks out, I really do just want to say, it takes a lot of courage to get up here and do these pitches. And so congratulations to every single person. You have already taken a huge step in moving forward with your business just by being here, showing up, and going through this process. And so I really want to congratulate you on doing that. If I could have our judges come on up here, we're going to have you be a part of the check presentations as well. So the way that we do this is we will start from 5th place and move our way up to 1st place. If you come up, accept your check. We're going to take a few pictures with our judges up here at the front of the room, and then we'll continue through the process. So with that, I've got our 5th place winner. Yeah, I was going to say, trying to get out of the, and we might move, yeah, that's perfect. Let me pull this up here. So in 5th place tonight, getting a check of, what do we got? 1,000? Yeah, a check of $1,000. Please come up, Bobby's Bees. If you want to step here, yeah, perfect. Yeah, right in the middle. Yeah, I'm sorry. That's perfect. All right, congratulations. Now, I do have to say the point differential between 5th and 4th place was a percentage of a point. That's how close these get at the end. And I did not envy you judges for having to score these because there's some really great businesses. So in 4th place with a check of $2,000, we have Casa Dolores Cafe. Congratulations.
Can we shut off the projector?
Yeah.
There you go. Perfect. to the baker shop. Dad. Bringing some energy to this. Another round of applause for our specialists. Are yours. Feel free to take pictures in front of the step-in routine. There's still some, I think, food and drink
Yes,
back
please.
there. So
Yes,
finish
please.
up. Anything else we need to send our folks off with?
Thank you, JRI.
Yes.
And